I need to trim the beard. Oh my. Oof. We missed a whole lot of news this week. Let's get into it. Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we need to go over every piece of news we missed over the last week. It's a lot of information. It's final cards for the deck build pack. What is this? Amazing Defenders. It's the beginning of Photon Hypernova reveals and exactly what we were expecting. Photon/Galaxy support, a new structure deck revealed, and a new V-Jump promo artwork revealed, which we will cover all in this video. Let's get into it. We've got a lot of stuff to go over, so we're doing it. First off, here is Expiry Noir. This is the final card revealed for the beginning, or for the first wave of these archetypes in Amazing Defenders, the deck build pack. It's a Dark Fairy Exceed monster, rank 7, 1100 attack, 2800 defense, big booty, but very small attack. It takes any 2 level 7 monsters, but that's really not how you make it, because you can also exceed some of this card by using a rank 2 monsters with 5 or more materials. So that's kind of what this deck likes to do. It likes to stack a bunch of materials on one of the rank 2 priority monsters, then eventually get into a monster like this. So here we go. His 2 effects. The first one is this card with 5 or more materials is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. Just completely any activated effect, completely immune to. With a 2800 booty, that's pretty solid protection. And also, considering most of the time you're going to be making this with at least 5 materials, or 6 materials theoretically, once you overlay on top of the Exceed already on field, you're in a good position. Second effect, you can attach 2 materials from this card, then target a card your opponent controls, or in their graveyard, place it on the bottom of the deck. This is a quick effect if this card has a level 1 priority monster as material. So that's what I really like to see. You should be able to make this with the level 1 most of the time, which was really good because it's going to allow you to make this a quick effect, be able to use this as interruption. And the other thing to keep in mind with this effect as well, this is not a once per turn effect at all. There's no restriction on this whatsoever as far as how many times you can do it in a turn. So theoretically, if you're overlaying this on top of a rank 2 with 5 or more materials, it would end up with 6 materials once you include the monster you're putting this on top of as well, which means you can literally target a card and put it on the bottom of your opponent's deck 3 times in the same turn. And on their turn if you have a level 1 priority. So I think this is a pretty cool payoff. The question is just going to come down to how easily can the deck actually facilitate this, and especially through stuff like hand traps, like interruptions going second. If you can, it's a really powerful payoff if you can get there. The question is going to be, can we do it? We'll see. Moving on here, we move to the next piece. This is the final Makanko card. We knew it was going to be another equip spell, so let's see how it goes. This is Arabesque of the Makanko equip spell. Second effect's a hard once per turn. The equipped monster cannot be destroyed by card effects. Okay, nice little bonus effect there. That's solid protection, honestly. Target just any destroyed by card effects protection, solid. And the second effects, during your main phase, you can special summon a Makanko monster from your hand or deck with a different original name than the equipped monster. And if you do, equip this card to it, then return the monster this card was equipped to the hand. Really, really powerful effect. I knew eventually Konami was going to come around and make some equips that are like these cards. This is kind of the exact kind of power creep that I've talked about in past just general discussion videos about equips, which was like, yes, we have these equips. We have like the what is that archetype called? The Gorgon, the Selene, the Evil Eyes. When they're equipped, they give the effect to the monster, but like the monster already has the effect. So it's not like the equips are really doing anything. The monster just needs the equipped to gain its own effect. Whereas these just straight up tack on like all pretty powerful effects onto the monsters they're doing. This card kind of falls in line for me with like the Durendal, the equip spell for Infernobles that just lets you search a Fire Warrior. This just straight up pulls a Makanko out of the deck. This has no restriction on what you can equip it to. So even going second, you could equip this to an opponent's monster just to straight up like E-Telly for one of the Makankos straight from deck, like the red one, which I believe will then equip himself with another equip from deck, which could be like the removal one, I believe. And then you're kind of just moving. I really do think this rounds out the archetype nicely. They really felt like they need another starter card. I don't know where this archetype goes, per se. It's one of those archetypes, kind of like when Drytron came out. I wasn't sure where they'd go with it. We'll have to see what the best kind of way to combine this archetype with others is. Is it with an Infernoble engine? Is it with a ritual engine to focus on the ritual side of the deck. I don't know. We'll see. But I do think there are some legs here. This archetype could be better than we give it credit for out the gate, because it is so open-ended and it can combine with a lot of things. Kind of same thing with Peruri, to be honest. Next up here, we move to our structure deck reveal. This is the new one. It's called Forest of the Trap Tricks. I mentioned this in one of my posts. Really, really hyped for this. If you guys don't know, Trap Tricks is like legit one of my top 5 decks of all time. I had a really fun time playing it back when like Sarah came out as just like a trap deck. And I'm really excited for this because I think there's a lot of ways they can go. I think the deck could really get a boost from like having an actual boss monster payoff. They don't really feel like they have a legit like game-winning boss monster that they can utilize, as well as maybe a little bit of extra power creep for some of the trap holes would be cool, as well as like extenders and just overall improving the engine as it is. I mean, we already have stuff like the Vernalizer Fairies coming out, which actually in their own way helps the Trap Tricks monsters. We'll see if that becomes a possibility depending on how many more main deck monsters we get. I think the sky is the limit here. I think you could look at this deck and say this is already fringe rogue. It's one of those decks that like if you are on a good day and you're a good player, you could do well with it at a tournament, but it still needs a nice boost. And you know, somewhere between 6 and 8 cards, that's all we need for an archetype like this that already has a lot of good things going on. Can't wait to see what they do. Really, really excited. For the OCG, they're getting it December 3rd, so we're a ways away. I mean, we're 3.5 months from the OCG even getting it, so we'll probably start getting reveals in like a month or two. Obviously, I'll keep you updated on that. So let's move into the Galaxy cards. This is going to be the heft of this video. We're going to try and zoom through these because there are a lot of them. So let's get into it. These are the first reveals for Photon Hypernova. Really awesome new dragon monster for the deck. Let's get into it. Photon Emperor, first new card, a level 8 light warrior effect monster, 28 and 10, actually monarch stats there. Pretty cool. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, except from the field, so actually generically, you could just Foolish Burial this guy, and you have another Photon or Galaxy monster on your field or in your graveyard, you can special summon this card in defense position. Interesting. After you normal summon or special summon this card, you can normal summon a light monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summon / set. I think this card's a little underwhelming to me. He may end up, just because of like maybe other cards making him better, end up as a one-of in the deck extender where you can just like have a way to send him straight from the deck with another card, like just him being an engine requirement. And then he just summons himself back to the field. Also, he kind of reads like one of those cards where if he's just like, if you draw him, I think the deck has multiple ways to get rid of him. Galaxy Soldier, stuff like that. He just comes back as a level 8 body to help you keep extending and gives you additional normal summon. Not that the deck really felt like it needed more normal, like additional normals, but whatever. Extension is extension. He's an okay card to me. Nothing crazy, though. Next up here, we have Galaxy Summoner, a level 4 light spellcaster, 16-14 for the stats. You can only use both its effects once per turn. If he's normal summoned or special summoned, you can target a Photon or Galaxy in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. Okay, cool, not bad, but like, how does he get on field? And the second effect, you can target it one other light monster you control that has a level, and its level becomes 4 until the end of this turn. So, facilitating rank 4 plays, pretty cool. A lot of good generic rank 4s, as well as a new rank 4 for this support, which is actually quite good, if I remember correctly. So cool. I think this card's fine, but it seems like it wants to take your normal summon. At least we have a way to get an additional normal summon, but this is more like an extender, not as much of a starter. So we'll see. All right, lastly for the main deck monsters, Gala Kuribo, a level 1 light fiend effect monster, 300 attack, 200 defense. This is always treated as a Galaxy card. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, discard this card to special summon a Galaxy-ized Photon Dragon from hand or deck, then change the attack target to it. Then you can attach this card from your graveyard to an Exceed monster on the field as material. Really, really crazy, but kind of require... The bottom line here with this effect, which is like interesting payoff, is that it requires your opponent's monster to declare an attack. So you have to wait a long while for this, which means even in the best version of this deck, I think this card is dookie. But a fun card if you're playing like a more casual version. If a Photon and or Galaxy monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from grave instead. If this card was like super freely accessible throughout the engine, this effect would make it a little more interesting to just make your boards a little more sturdy and harder to break through. But at the end of the day, I think this card is just super underwhelming for like anybody trying to play this deck on a rogue level. So now I move to the big boss monster here. This is number C62 Neo Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. He's a rank 8 light dragon, 4,000, 3,000, humongous. He requires 3 level 8 light monsters, pretty specific and kind of hefty on the cost. But you can also exceed summon this card by using number 62 Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon you control, transferring its materials to this card. So a lot easier to make that way. At the start of your battle phase, you can detach 1 material from this card, and this card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during this battle phase. Quite strong, but it is only monsters. This is not just able to attack your opponent 3 times directly or anything like that, so that is the one downside there, but still clearing boards is pretty nice. I wish this just didn't have to like activate, but it is what it is. Secondly, if this card has Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon as material, it gains these specific effects. It's unaffected by your opponent's monster effects, period. Just all monster effects, okay. And gains attack equal to the combined levels and ranks of all monsters attached to it as material times 100. Wow. That's actually quite insane. This is quite a game-ending card, I think. So not only is he just naturally 4,000 anyway, but then he gets bigger with Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon attached by a ton. He'd be probably close to like, what would that be, 56, probably 6,400 most of the time, because he'll probably just have a couple of 8s under him, ranks and exceeds, and he's unaffected by monster effects, which means your opponent can only out him with spells and traps, which some decks just don't even have outs to via their engine that way. Yeah, this card is a house, and it's somewhat generic, because I believe the guy you can overlay him on top of is like, may just be like a generic 8. Don't quote me on that. I don't know the Prime Dragons that well, but like, interesting. Next up here, we have the rank 4 Galaxy Photon Dragon. Very generic, very basic, but has both names in its name, which is very important. Rank 4 Light Dragon Exceed Monster. 2,000, 0 for the stats. I like, solid 2,000. Any 2 level 4s is really nice. That may open the possibility for stuff like Peril Exceed or some other just generic rank 4 spam, engines. You can only use the second and third effects of this card once per turn each. All other light monsters you control gain 500. Okay, cool. You can attach one material from this card to take a Photon or Galaxy card from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Okay. Also, I love that it only detaches 1 material. That means you could literally search a card, push into battle phase with this, and still just plop a Zeus on this card with 2 mats and make it work. That's cool. But yeah, just searches any card in the deck. Sweet. Which means any rank 4 engine kind of gets you to the Photon Galaxy stuff, which is awesome. And thirdly, if a light monster or monsters is special summoned to your field, target one of them that has a level, and it becomes 4 or 8 until the end of the turn. So not only is it searching you any card in your engine, but whenever any card in your engine touches down, light-wise, you can choose to make it 8 or 4 if it's not one of those already, which really adds a little bit of versatility in helping you get to certain extra deck lines, XE-wise. Pretty, very, very solid. This card is probably the best card of the support, to me, as far as like making the engine better. From here, we have Galaxy 100, a continuous spell. You can only activate 1 card, this card's name per turn, and the second effect is also once per turn. When this card resolves, you can send a Photon or Galaxy card from deck to grave. Okay, that's pretty good with our new guy, just to get a body out. I don't know what other cards in the archetype have graveyard synergy, but okay, just Foolish Burial. And if a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon is special summoned to your opponent's, or summoned to your field, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and apply 1 of these effects. Banish a monster from it, or special summon a number monster from it to your field. Wow. So not only is this card like a Foolish Burial for the archetype, but then it also says if you can get Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon out, you can kind of just peep your opponent's extra deck and like ditch a card. That's pretty spicy. I mean, I think about just like playing a Punk deck and just banishing Hulk. That immediately takes away the additional lines where they can extend through Hulk, which can definitely be huge. And also, this is continuous, so it stays on the field. So if you're able to like keep getting Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon on the field, you can keep ripping stuff out of your opponent's extra turn after turn and minimizing their potential plays. Very cool card. This card's interesting. I don't know what other targets are good to be sent, but like we'll definitely have to look into it. And then we have Numeron Creation, a normal spell as well. This is always treated as a Galaxy Eyes card, which is nice. You can only apply the effect of this card once per turn. If there are 3 or more light dragon monsters on the field with 3,000 or more original attack, special summon a dragon number exceed monster from extra, then attach this card to it as material. This card is an anime card. I would not play this in any version that I'm playing of Photon Galaxy, but it's fun and it's cool if you want to play a casual version. That's where I'll leave that. And the final card, as far as these new cards go, this will definitely be changed. They will definitely not keep retardation as part of the name for this card. Absolutely not. That is not cool for sure. But Photon Deceleration is what we'll go with that name for now. Normal trap card. First effect says take one Photon or Galaxy continuous spell or trap from your deck and either add it to your hand or place it face up on the field. Second effect, if this set card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect during their turn and you control a Galaxy-ized Photon Dragon or an Exceed monster that has it as material, you can make it become the end phase. Okay, pretty interesting. So this card will either just like add a continuous spell or trap or place it right on the field, which means even though it's slow, it does like kind of just set it up on the opponent's turn. Pretty cool. Like again, it comes back to like this card. If there are legit good send targets, then being able to like place this on the field and hopefully get a send. Although I guess this card isn't resolving, it's just being placed, so you wouldn't get the send effect. But if you could theoretically put this up and then go into like summon a Galaxy-ized Photon, you would get like a quick effect potential to like rip a card from your opponent's extra once you already know like the deck they're playing and like what route they're trying to take with that specific turn. That could be something interesting. I don't know. I also don't know like what other continuous spells or traps exist in the archetype. I don't think the second effect is that great, though, to be honest. I think it's pretty specific, and I don't expect it to be crazy, but whatever. So yeah, that's it for this board. As far as this goes, I think the continuous spell could be solid. I think this guy's the best card here, and it's not close. I think this guy's a pretty solid win condition. Whack. Interesting card, but it may take specific playlines to make him better. And then this guy could be a decent extender, but kind of like a brick in the hand potentially. So we'll see where he ends up as well. But pretty cool, all things considered. I don't think it's the worst support I've seen for some of these legacy archetypes on the cover of core sets as of late, but not the best either. I think Blackwing support was generally better for what that archetype needed as opposed to this one, but we'll obviously see what players come up with. And the last thing we're going to look at here for our news cycle is the V-Jump promo. The next one has been revealed. It is this very cute kitten card. The artwork's just to die for, of course. So yeah, let's read what Konami has to say about it. This is Kitty Tail, a mystical beast of the forest. Okay, so this is a mystical beast card, which is very interesting. It's an Earth Beast, level 2, 200, 200. The taglines mention that it's a level 2 beast monster that has 2 effects that support beast, beast warrior, wing beast, insects, and plants. That's more of like a mystical beast thing where they work with insects and plants as well. But for our intents and purposes with this card, I'm almost expecting it to this was the more interesting part, at least to me. So a couple interesting things. One, this is a level 2, so sprites just came out. They already work with Tri Brigade, who uses level 2s, and Melfi's. Very cool. 2, it is a Tri-Beast in and of itself, so has some Tri Brigade synergy there, as well as Melfi synergy in and of itself because they have cards that can summon any level 2 beast straight out of the deck. So we already make use of, is a Kalantosa, the one that like pops a card when it's summoned by a beast. They can quick effect get him out. If this is another effect that kind of is like, oh, when this card's summoned, like do something. I don't like that could potentially lead to even more plays. I don't know. Very cool. And I guess the last thing would be it is Earth, which I'm sorry, level 2 beast is Rescue Cat. That's the last thing I would say that's like potentially important. There are already plays with Rescue Cat with like Tri Brigade stuff and playing into like a Melfi combo. But depending on what this card does, again, it's open-ended. We have no idea what its effects actually are. Could potentially make like a Rescue Cat build legitimately playable yet again, but we'll see. But those are the 3 big factors. I think if this card's actually good, it could do a lot. I think like Tri Brigade's already like a fringe rogue deck because of sprites and the synergy it has there. So yeah, I like it. Very, very cool. But yeah, that's everything we missed over the last week as far as like the TCG should be concerned in any way. A lot of cool stuff. I want to hear your thoughts on all of these, so please let me know down below all of your thoughts, whether it's the last Peruri card, the last Mikanko card, the OCG Trap Trick Structure deck that hopefully we'll get, but if not, we'll still get the new cards later on, so like I'm not that worried about it. And I've got a cat climbing up my chair. the Galaxy Eyes Photon support, as well as the new V-Jump card. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. Throw those down below. Thank you so much for watching and making it through this long-ass video, but I love you for that, and thank you. Subscribe if you haven't, and you want to see more stuff from me, follow me on Twitter. That'll be in the link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.